Hey guys, welcome. We're hanging out live again, talking about some of the online video news updates and things that have been happening in the past week here on YouTube. And we're gonna talk about some of the updates that happened at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show out in Vegas last week. There's some announcements that YouTube made, particularly their head of business development, Robert Kinkel, made a lot of great announcements about some of the new stats on the platform, as well as some of the new features and things they're going to be releasing. We're gonna talk about that, as well as a few other things here, 5 live streaming predictions, and a lot of cool stuff we're going to talk about here. And then, as I've been doing with these live shows, is I also want to make sure that we get some interaction here. So as you guys are listening, as we're talking about this stuff together, both in the chat of this video, make sure you tweet me at Tim Schmoyer is where you can do that, and there we will we'll be talking about. I'll be featuring a lot of your comments and stuff here on screen as we move forward, talking about a lot of that stuff. So tweet me at Tim Schmoyer. That's where that stuff will be, and I'd love to bring you guys up here, and we'll talk about that. So first of all, let's get right into the stories, right? And I see you guys in the chat. Awesome, welcome, good to have you guys. This is it's great to have you guys. All right, so first story here we're going to talk about is this story from Robert Kinkel, which I've talked about. So they have this new, a bunch of new features coming up here. So, but first of all, let's talk about some of the stats. So in Robert Kinkel's Chief Business Officer, in his talk at CES, in the link in the description below, you'll find this video, which is the full thing. And then there's also a big transcript here you can follow if you want to get all of it. But I pulled out all the highlights for you guys that I think were kind of like the biggest aha moments, the biggest takeaways for me. And we'll run through some of these stats with you guys real quick, because I think you'll find them amazing and hopefully very encouraging for you guys as creators. So right now, watching TV, watching video, whether on TV or online video, he said, is the most important activity that people are doing these days. So there's only 2 things that people do more than watching video, and that is eating and sleeping. Okay, or sleeping and working. I'm sorry, not eating, but sleeping and working. People spend more time doing those things, but the next biggest thing they do is watching video, TV or online. So people spend about 5 hours a day watching video, which is a lot. I just had new twins born like 2 weeks ago, and I have 6 kids. I don't know how people fit in that much time of watching TV and video, but apparently they do. Also, according to the study by Nielsen, he said that TV viewing actually peaked in 2009, and ever since then has been declining every year. It had been growing for every year for 50 years, peaked in 2009, and now it's on the way down. And he said more recently, the number of TV subscriptions have begun to decline as people are now cutting the cord. And in the second quarter of last year, 600,000 people cut their TV subscriptions, which is an industry record. And so a lot of those people, especially the young people, they're turning it to online video instead. So another research that he talked about, also from Nielsen, showed that the time 18 to 34-year-olds spend on television fell by 9% last year. Meanwhile, that exact same audience spent 48% more time on YouTube, and mobile viewing is the biggest growth factor of that, which we probably understand, but he talked a little bit about that as well. So the average online, online video viewer now watches 75 minutes of digital content per day, which is up 60% than it was, last year. So people are spending a lot more time watching videos. So for those of you guys who are creators and you're like, I'm just not finding an audience, there are people that are out there and they're spending much more time watching content than they were even this time last year, which I think is awesome. So how much content? This might be a little discouraging though. So there's a lot more people watching content and spending more time watching online video, but the competition is also going up as well, right? So he said the latest stat, there's 400 hours of video are being shared on YouTube every single minute. every single minute, 400 hours. So that is a lot of competition to sift through. Now, it's totally possible, guys. Like, don't get discouraged. Like, there's more people watching. There's more people trying to get a piece of that pie of the eyeballs time, but it's still totally possible, and that's what this channel is all about. That's what we're doing here, and it'll be we'll continue to help you guys with that. So, and the last thing is something I think a lot of us, probably important to us as creators, because YouTube Red is something that we've had a lot of questions about. He didn't talk about YouTube Red specifically, but he did talk about one of the reasons why they package Google Music Play and YouTube Music along with YouTube Red, and that is because number one way people spend their free time is watching video, right? But number two, the second biggest way people spend their free time is actually listening to music, which people right now, they said, are listening to it over 4 hours a day. And so that's why YouTube bundles music along with Red, along with videos, because watching videos and listening to music, those are the two biggest activities people spend their time. And he talked a little bit about how teenagers are consuming it. Teenagers primarily go to YouTube for their music. So it makes sense, YouTube, to bundle those things together. So I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about that. Again, love to have you guys tweet me if you'd like. And you can tweet me right here at Tim Schmoyer, and I'll be bringing up your tweets as we go forward here at the end, and just answering some of your questions and highlighting some of your thoughts here as we go through this. Okay, so let's head over to the next story. One of the features that YouTube is going to be releasing, and that is HDR video support. Now, if you don't know what HDR video support is, HDR is basically how the display deals with contrast between colors. So right now is basically just between how deep are the blacks and how bright are the whites. That's basically it. But HDR, high dynamic range, is what it stands for, takes into account all the different gradients and colors between the black and the white, of all the different colors. So it takes all the overexposed pixels and the parts of the picture that otherwise would have been like blown out, and brings them back a little bit, and all the stuff that would have been underexposed and brings them up, and it makes like a really beautiful image. So they will be supporting that coming soon on YouTube. The only thing is, you actually need a specific kind of display in order to take advantage of that. It's not just like a normal YouTube monitor or video monitor, computer monitor, cell phone screen. I think it says here in this article, however, many TV manufacturers announce support for the technology in their new models. So some, like the Ultra HD Blu-ray players, which deliver true 4K, some of them will support it, but in order to get the full benefit of it, you'll need a dedicated display. So that's coming. I'm excited about that. It's going to be looking awesome. And then, of course, you're going to need gear that can shoot in that. But when you do, YouTube will be ready for you. Last one article here is 5 streaming video predictions of 2016. And so I'm streaming here, guys, because one, I put a lot of time into doing the research for these videos, but the shelf life of these new ones is relatively short. And so I'm like, well, rather than spending all the time shooting and editing and preparing and uploading like I used to, like, how about I just live stream them so we can hang out together? I see you guys in the comments of the chat here. It's awesome. Hello, Ask a Gangsta. Like a lot of people, four fantastic kids, people just hanging out. And so it's a good way for me to interact, answer questions, and also talk with you guys about some of this stuff. But it's also like a pretty different experience here. So this article, I'm not going to go through it. You can read it, it's linked up down there below if that's something you're interested in. But personally, I am definitely interested in live streaming because of the engagement level, because of the watch time. Like all you guys are giving this video right now as you're watching live, which is great for SEO, as you guys know, and the engagement on it. And also, it's like easy for me to doesn't require any editing and things like that. So go read this article if this is something that you're interested in, and I know you guys will get a lot of benefit out of that, and maybe even considering live streaming for yourself. And I would love to hear from you guys as you tweet me, as you comment here, and everything about if you have any plans for live streaming, and if you do, what those might look like, and what your plans are for those. So let's hop into the chat, into Twitter here, and let's take some of your questions and things that you that you guys are asking regarding this. First question here is Google Hangouts on Air still a viable option for live streaming? Yes, it totally is. I actually have a whole new weekly live stream that I will be doing, and I'll have a video announcing that tomorrow, so look for that coming up. But totally still possible to do Google Hangouts in Air. In fact, if you don't know how to use like live streaming software, don't worry about it. Just hop into Hangouts in Air. That'll be a great way for you to get started with that. As with all things, eventually the bubble pops. Do you see that happening for YouTube in the near future? I mean, all indications are that no, it's not there anywhere close. It's still highly on the way up, and maybe it'll pop as like the television cable online industry has, depending on how you look at it, you know, popping, going down, declining as new technologies arise. But right now it's not, and I would expect that online video as a whole is just going to continue to grow because it's such a great way to engage with people, to like make eye contact with people, to have like show emotion and not just tell somebody about something, but also like show them. There's a lot of really powerful things. And it's just like the democratic nature of YouTube is just anyone with an idea be able to come and make that, I think is going to make it really compelling going forward into the future. So let's talk about, someone just saying, thank you for the live feed. You're welcome. More people saying, thank you for the live feed. Yep. Shannon Jones, first podcast episode is what she's talking about here. And that is, you get more information about that in tomorrow's video. Look for that. So she saw that. Let's see here. Can you tell in analytics if it does? I haven't seen that. I'm not sure what you're talking about here, but if it's to the watch time element, then yes, you can see the watch time that your videos get inside YouTube Analytics, including your live events. It just takes, my opinion, like all the chat that's happening in your live events turns into comments on your video after a few days. You know, it takes them a few days for them to catch up and process. But then all those analytics, all those comments, all the engagement, everything transfers over to the replay of the video for people to watch, which is awesome, and a lot of good data that you're giving Google about your videos there. Let's see here. Jimmy Bear, thanks for all the information on the live stream. Look forward to working with you and getting my YouTube channel going. That would be awesome. Love to work with you if that works out. How do you do the screen? How do you show the screen as well as show yourself in the video? I am using a streaming software right now called Wirecast, and you can get a pretty limited version of it for free. Just search for Wirecast Play for YouTube, I think, and you'll find I'm using a paid version, but it lets me bring in tweets, lets me do screen sharing. It does have a steep learning curve to it. I am learning it right now myself, but that's what I'm using here. So I love the idea of streaming, but I don't really have the subscriber base yet. And that's, you need a little bit of subscriber base, but one of the things that a lot of creators do is they actually use live streaming to build their base. And so what they'll do is, even if they have a small number of people, is you can actually do things with a small group that a larger YouTuber can't do, such as bring all your people into the Hangout with you. Give them the link to join the Hangout and actually bring them into the video feed so you can hang out, so you can talk, get to know each other, and really build like relationships with your core community that way. You can start by using like Facebook live streaming to start building some stuff, Periscope. There's other ways to do it. And also, if you maybe plan a live event and then just promote the heck out of it for like a really long time, but for like a week or so, and get people who otherwise aren't interested, or I shouldn't say that, people who don't yet know about you, say, oh, we're doing a live streaming event, and help them show up for that. So it's a great tool to use for audience development as well, other than just trying to interact with people you already have. So, and that kind of goes along with this question also. Live events worth it for a smaller audience channel? Yeah, consider using it as a tool to build your audience with. Let's see. Some of you guys are asking questions I've answered. We're following up on last week. Have you created a Facebook group you're talking about? Nope, I haven't found a good way to manage it, so I haven't done that. Yes, I did say podcast, and you can look for that in tomorrow's video, but maybe you search iTunes for video creators, you might find it right now, but I'm not sure if that how quickly it becomes searchable, because iTunes just approved it yesterday. Let's see, any stats on watch people are watching? How-tos, vlogs, education, things like that. So you can see the stats on how many people are watching while you're live streaming through on your page right now. It says that there are 109 people watching this right now. And so I don't really watch the stats while I'm doing this because I just try to focus on you guys. But yes, Google, Google, like they're all about data and stats and information, and they love doing that. And it looks like in the chat I need to figure out some moderators for this time for all the spammy people, huh? That's not fun. Come on, guys, don't ruin this for everybody. That's another thing. Like, as you learn as you go, like I now know I need to get moderators in here. Let's see. Who do I want to make a moderator? Who do I trust here? Variety Girl. I don't know you, but I've seen you comment a lot on my videos, so I just set you as a moderator. All right, Variety Girl 1. That's your job. Now you can block people and put people in timeout. So I just delegated power, and I don't even know the person. But that's the cool thing. Like you guys comment a lot. Like I recognize your channel names and what you're doing here, and so I know I can trust some of you guys because like I do read all the comments, and it's a lot of fun to see what you guys are doing. Okay, so what kind of camera are you using for this live stream? I actually just upgraded and got myself a Logitech. I think it's the 930E. So it's like $100 or something because the built-in one to my iMac is okay, but this one's certainly a lot better, a lot smoother. And so I upgraded to this one for that. Should I live stream to Twitch or on YouTube? It kind of depends on what your goals are and who your audience is. If you're a gamer, Twitch makes a lot of sense. If you're not a gamer, Twitch doesn't make any sense, right? So I've heard different creators having great success with YouTube live streaming as far as their gameplay, their Let's Plays is concerned. Others not so much. So you might want to play with both of those and see which ones work for you. Let's see here. Let's take one or two more, and then we're gonna wrap it up. And guys, like, there's a lot of people asking stuff, but like, for these going forward, we're gonna answer questions and comments that are related to the topics that we're discussing here. In these videos. So the articles I linked up down below. So today we're talking about live streaming and things like that. Is Wirecast a live streaming software that is both computer and mobile? Yes. So you can have it as an app, which has actually worked out really well. I tested it out on my family's channel last week, and it worked great. The quality is surprisingly clear. There's no chat moderation from your phone, no delegating or anything like that. So that's kind of a problem. But I did use the app, that worked great, and now I'm using the desktop stuff like that. Okay. Let's take one more here, and then we'll wrap it up here. So what are the 5 predictions for live streaming? David, Dorian, Ross, that's in the article below. We could walk through all that, but I think you guys could just read that as well. So, here's the follow-up. I think the question was what they are watching. Are they watching vlogs? If you want to know what your subscriber base is watching, there used to be a handy tool when YouTube was linked to Google+, which I know a lot of people hate it, but there were some benefits to that. And that was, yes, they could see who your subscribers were and they gave you that. Now they probably could still track that, but at least then they offered the information of other channels that your audience was most subscribed to, it was kind of helpful, but it wasn't totally helpful because everyone is subscribed to like the really big YouTube channel. So everyone's like, oh, most of your audience is subscribed to the Fine Brothers. Well, that's awesome. That's easy when you have over 10 million subscribers, right? But I guess overall, like, I'm not so much concerned about that question. Like, do I need to know what they're watching? I just want to know, how do I reach the people who would be interested in my content, right? And who is the target audience that I'm going after, and how do I reach them? What other channels would they be hanging out on for collaborations and things like that? So, I hope that was helpful for you guys as far as some of the questions, and I liked doing it, so hopefully you guys found that valuable. I think what we're going to do here is I'm going to learn how to use my software is one thing we're going to do, and we're going to, I'm still learning how to do this. Here we go. So it has a little bit of a learning curve to it, but thanks for hanging out, guys. I will be going live every week here at 11:30 Eastern time, but with a different format starting next week. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be for you guys as creators who are trying to grow the business side of your YouTube channel. You're trying to generate an income. You're trying to learn what are the big full-time YouTubers doing that I might not be doing, that's leading to great success for them and not so much for me, maybe, or maybe great for you. It's going to be those two people, and it's also going to be for people who are full-time or about to jump into that full-time realm on their YouTube audience and their channel. And so that's coming up starting next time. It's going to be an entirely new format. These news streams are going to probably switch to Mondays. And so I'll be streaming Mondays and Tuesdays at 11:30 Eastern time. So again, look for tomorrow's video for more information about that. I can introduce you to full-time YouTubers who are going to be live streaming with me every week to help you guys out with that type of content. And I'm really looking forward. I think it's going to be really valuable for a lot of you guys. So thank you so much for hanging out. It's been awesome. Hope this has been valuable for all of you guys. And I will see you guys again next week. Bye.